Welcome back to our channel, JK Accounting. I'm Krystal. I am going to show you guys how I fill out the individualized home instruction plan. As homeschool moms, we have to fill this out for New York State. New York State Board of Ed pretty much wants to know what you plan on teaching your child. This is a way for them to know everything that you're going to do for the year, but also it keeps you on track to know what you're going to teach. Someone asked in the comment section of one of our homeschool videos to show how I fill it out personally. And I wanted to do this video before, but I just never got to it. You know, life. Pretty much, I'm going to show you my screen as I fill out the form. I've already filled out the form. We're already in the swing of things of homeschooling right now. It is like September. As I'm filming this video, we started in July. I'm going to show you how I fill it out, but also I'm going to tell you another aspect of the instruction plan that you can do if you choose not to use this form. So when you go on to schools.nyc.gov and then you search for homeschooling. So I'm going to scroll all the way down to Individualized Home Instruction Plan, or the IHIP, and you click on the one that's specific for your grade that you're going to teach. So I'm teaching pretty much elementary school / middle school 1 through 6. So you click on that and then you click on the language that you want to do it in. And then this PDF is going to pop up. So you can either fill it out on the actual page that pops up for the PDF or download the form. You could print it out and hand print what you're going to teach, or you could just do it straight off your desktop. Sometimes I fill it straight from here and then just save whatever I did and then email it. But this year I actually just wrote it out because this form, sometimes it acts up. So all the information that you may have to input into there may not fit. And so it doesn't allow for you to apply all those details in each box. For me, I would just use a Word document and put in everything. So here it just tells you what school year you're going to be doing. So we're doing the 2025 through 2026. And then it tells you all of the rules that you need to basically follow. So it must be submitted as a PDF attachment within 28 days of when you decide to start homeschooling, and you email it to homeschool@schools.nyc.gov. You complete each section of the IHIP, and it must include the student's age and grade level that you're going to be teaching, the curriculum materials, whether that's the textbook that you're going to use or each specific detail of each subject. Then you also have to put in your quarterly, your quarters, right? So your semesters, and you have to divide it evenly from your school year, whenever your school year starts. So mine starts July 21st all the way to June 30th. So we're a little bit longer. So our range is about 12 weeks to 13 weeks. And then if you're using an online program, you can put that in, and you must make sure that you're teaching 900 hours for the year. For me, I kind of go over, but I'm fine with that. I'd rather be over than under. All right, so you fill in your student's name, okay, John Doe, and then you fill in the date of birth, your grade level. I'm just gonna put in 6th grade, your student ID number. If you've homeschooled previously, you should already have your student ID. If you've been in the New York State school system, you should already have a student ID. If this is your first time, they will send it to you when you submit all this stuff required for homeschooling. And then you fill in your information and where you live. And then you type in who's going to be instructing your student. And then you sign it off. I affirm that my child, John Doe, will be meeting the compulsory education requirements of NYSED CR part. And this is all the rules they're listing the specific part of the rules that you're supposed to follow for the school year 2025 through 2026. And then you sign off as a parent and you date it. On the second page, you see all of the subjects, right? And you can break it up however you want to break it up, but they just want to know what you plan on doing for the entire school year. Your quarterly report is completely different. You can choose whatever subject you want to focus on in each quarter, but for overall, these are all the subjects you have to complete. So we have arithmetic. Here is where I would pull up discoveryk12.com. That's the curriculum I use online. It brings you to day 10 of the curriculum. However, with Discovery K-12, you can start and stop whenever you want. So even if you miss like day 1, you can always go back to day 1 with daily assignments. You just click that and it shows you, right? We're going to go to the curriculum for 6th grade. So you just go to the menu option and then you scroll down to curriculum by grade and it shows you all of the grade levels. And so I'm going to pick 6th grade. So here it pretty much lists it out for you, but you can also just open up the PDF here. You can copy and paste into your PDF, or you could just type it out, whichever you prefer. For math, I'm just going to look here. It says ratios and proportions, ratios and real world problems, percent. So you can just copy and paste, right? And as you can see so far, right, all this information just for math is not going to fit into arithmetic. See, and it doesn't give you the option to minimize the size of the font. I've tried so many ways with this form. So as you can see, it's not all going to fit with all the things that a 6th grader have to do for math. If you want to type it up, or if you want to just write ratios, just write percents and not go into full details, because it's still giving them an idea. Some people go very vague and some people go very detailed. I like to be detailed just because I don't want anybody talking about you weren't clear on what you're going to teach. That's just me. I'm not a rule breaker, guys. I'm not a rule breaker. But anyway, so I would fill all that in and all the way down onto physical education. So we have spelling. On Discovery K-12, they have spelling words. So if you go to today's assignments, they have spelling words for the week. So you can either choose that, or you can look up spelling words. Or if you notice your kid is, struggling on certain words, take note of it and then add it on to the following week. That's what I do. There's also writing assignments on here in Discovery K-12. So you would just write that in. Each day there are writing assignments, reading assignments here. You can borrow books from the library. You can make up whatever writing assignment you want to do, but you could just write based on a book that we're reading, we're going to write about that. English language, geography, United States history, science, health education, and you also do visual arts and then physical ed. Again, whatever you prefer. If they're already on a team, write that in. If you guys go running or you go for walks like we do, I type that in. If they're taking another language, my kids are learning Haitian Creole, so they learn it on Duolingo. So I don't have a curriculum for Duolingo. I just put in Duolingo Haitian Creole. And I think that's like the vaguest topic that I'll put in there. So now we have like specific things that they have to do, like patriotism, citizenship, health education regarding like alcohol, drugs. And these things are also age appropriate for me, for my family. So like crossing the street, bike safety, fire prevention, drug safety, right? These are things that obviously you teach them based on their age level, right? It's not too early to learn about fire safety. It's not too early to learn about bike safety, wearing helmets, all that stuff. But that's just like things that you have to do that they put here. But you have from kindergarten to 12th grade to do those things. And then the following courses should be taught once during the first 8th grade. So these have to be taught before high school. U.S. history and New York State history and the Constitution of the United States. But as you can see here on Discovery K-12 syllabus, my 4th grader has places and regions in the United States, and she also has local, state, and federal governments, right? So you can incorporate it, you know, they can read history books while doing English, and you can check all of that off in one class. You know what I mean? So don't let this form freak you out. I know first time it freaked me out. So now you break down when you're going to submit your quarterly report to the state, and that will be the last day of that specific quarter. Okay, so they also suggest dates for your quarterly report, and so if you choose to, you can choose theirs. So November 15th, 2025. That's not mine, but I'm just showing you as an example. The second one would be January 31st, the third, April 15th, and then the fourth, June 30th. You just read all of the requirements again, annual assessment that you have to do. What do you plan on doing for your grades, right? So depending when you start homeschooling, that determines what you're going to do. Either you're just going to do a written assessment, or your student is going to take a test, a standardized test, and you get to choose your test. They give you some options here. And so we specifically use the PASS test. We've used it for 2 years now. We like it because it's, comment below if you want me to give a review about the PASS test and explain why I like it. But my 6th grader used it for 5th grade and for 4th grade. And then the previous years before, we just did a written assessment. My 4th grader, we're gonna, this end of this year, we will do an assessment, because as you can see here, it says you have to start testing after 3 years of homeschooling, or 4th grade, and then every other year until high school, I believe. So now you select what you're gonna do, if you know, written narrative for your student or whatever test you choose here, and then that's it. You save it to your desktop, and then you email it to homeschool at schools.nyc.gov, and then you just type in like a little note like, hey, for me, this is what I normally would write. I would write, hi, this is John Doe's IHIP for the school year 2025 through 2026. We started school already, because technically you have to submit this on August 15th. So I would say, hey, we already started school July 21st, and we're going till June 30th. So our quarters are different compared to your quarters, just to give them a heads up. Also, they take forever to read this. So I'm already in the middle. They haven't even returned my email yet saying that, hey, your thing is approved or whatever, or received it. I'm still waiting on that. And you can't really follow up because they don't respond. So listen, I'm just moving and shaking with my kids and doing what I need to do. But if this doesn't work out, for me, I've stopped using this form, and I've just opened up a Word document, and then I just type everything up exactly how they have it. I write it out, and then it's easier for me to copy and paste all this information into the Word document instead of me having to also type it up. But it's your preference. You can also just attach this to that PDF as well. But that's pretty much it. It's pretty much self-explanatory. I hope this helps. If anything I mentioned was confusing, just comment below and I'll do a follow-up video to this one. And again, this is just how I do it, but just giving an example to anyone who is interested in homeschooling or who's been homeschooling and still are confused about how to fill out this form. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Feel the love.